Ikram and Abdiweli are final year medical students from Banadir University. It's a tough time for both of them. Their hope is to help alleviate the suffering of the Somali public in a nation where access to basic health remains the biggest challenge. Somalia is set to pick a president by end of the year. The public, among them Ikram and Abdiweli, will however have no say in the process. Authorities here have ruled out the possibility of democratic polls. Instead, an electoral college handpicked by clan elders will help form Somalia's next government. The incumbent president and his prime minister are seeking the top office. 44-year-old Fadumo Dayib is hoping to become Somalia's next president. She's back in Somalia 26 years after fleeing the deadly civil war. She says she's now back to end killing and corruption and help lead Somalia towards prosperity and stability. But how does the normal citizen see her candidacy?
I was raised by my mother. I understand how important a mother is in the society, not just at the family level. I am who I am because of the struggle my mother went through. I support women in top leadership positions and I support their candidacy.
Women should be empowered. Their 30% representation should be granted, and it is my belief that they will make great changes. Female cabinet ministers in the current and previous administrations have proved that they can move this country forward.
In a patriarchal social system, Dayib sees women as the only hope for the country. Sentiments shared among many other women here in Somalia.
She can be the president. Then there will be justice and equality. More women empowerment is what we need. Our time is now, and we should take our posts.
In 2013, Fawzia Adam became the first woman to be appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister, the highest position ever held by a woman in Somalia. It's on this basis that Dayib thinks women can make a difference in a country marred by frequent political haggling, clan fighting and Al-Shabaab militancy. We sat down with Fadumo Dayib to ask what a presidency under her will be like and how she hopes to relate her story, that of a refugee turned human rights activist and now into an educated woman seeking the highest job in the East African nation. Thank you for joining us today. My first question is, you are the only woman candidate running for the top office here in Somalia. Well, you are aware that this is more of a male-dominated society. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think are your chances of being elected president?
Well, you know, although we speak about Somalia being a male-dominated society, actually a lot of female politicians globally, wherever they are facing the same challenges. It's a global challenge. Take Hillary, for example. She's not running in Somalia, and she's facing massive challenges compared to me or the other female candidates. There's actually a couple of them in addition to myself. And so I think this is a global phenomenon that needs to be tackled. Sure, it's a patriarchal society, like so many other societies, but I think despite that, Somalia is ready for a new change in leadership, one that could also be a female leadership, a youthful one, an educated one that is also, you know, ushers in hope and a new way of doing things in Somalia. So had we had democratic elections this year, I think my chances would have been really, really high. But nonetheless, I still think that I stand a good chance, despite all the challenges.
The main threat facing the current government and the previous administrations is the militant group Al-Shabaab. How will you be able to handle the militant group Al-Shabaab?
I am of the opinion that the biggest threat that is facing Somalia is corruption. It's incompetency and not really Al-Shabaab. I believe dialogue to be the way forward. I believe peace and reconciliation to be the cornerstones, you know, the foundation to a prosperous, peaceful Somalia. Unless we do that, we will never, ever attain peace. And so dialogue is very important. We are very prone, we are very quick to resort to violence. And that has been happening for the past more than 26 years. It is time we move away from this. A dialogue is the way forward. That is why I am reaching out to Al-Shabaab to invite them to the peace table, provided they meet 3 conditions. They stop killing Somalis, they disarm, and they renounce their affiliation with international terrorism. If they do that, they are welcome. Mind you, Al-Shabaab has made it very clear that the war they are waging is not a religious one. They stated recently they want power. There are many other groups inside the country who all want power, and they should come to the peace table. We will only have power and peace through dialogue. And that is why my approach to Al-Shabaab is very different. We will not win a war against ideology using military means. We must win it using ideology. As long as socioeconomic disparities are not addressed, Al-Shabaab will continue to recruit because they know the drivers to the conflict. And so we must have dialogue with them, and we must also be addressing the socioeconomic disparities so that the two can actually meet sometime in the future.